Hi everyone, I'm Chyill and welcome back to another Battlerite video. Today we'll be taking a quick look at the Rocket Balloon Brawl mode that was just released a few days ago with the Mega Summer patch. So sit back, relax and enjoy the show. The Rocket Balloon Brawl game mode is the newly added brawl that just came out with a patch a few days back. It is just like the previous Bako Egg Brawl game mode where games are played 3 vs 3 and is mostly for fun. This time round though, the brawl will be available permanently I believe, instead of it just being a limited time thing. So after this first week where the brawl is available every day, the brawl will be locked on most weekdays and it will only be unlocked for play on the weekends. I think the reason for this is probably to make sure that the player base isn't too split up between the normal game mode and the brawl game mode. It will be pretty bad if the player base is split and queue times are too long for everybody playing the game. So yeah, definitely best to avoid that. Anyway, about the game mode itself, I think that the game mode itself is very fun since the pacing of it is much faster than the normal game mode. The brawl is designed in such a way that full team fights occur most of the time and it really feels very chaotic, which in some ways is a good thing because it can be pretty fun sometimes to just not know what is going on. And so definitely try it out if you haven't already tried the brawl out for yourself because I think it's a ton of fun. For those of you who don't know what the brawl is all about, I'll just quickly give a run through on the objectives of the brawl and some of the modifications that the developers have to put in to make the brawl a little bit more balanced and fun. And then after that, I'll also just quickly give some tips for playing the brawl if you'd like to have a bit of a better chance at winning some of those brawl rounds. So with all that being said, let's just get straight into it. The brawl is basically kind of like a king of the hill kind of thing, whereby you need to capture the rocket balloon so that it will help you attack your enemy guardian. The guardian is that structure that you can see when you start the round, and it is basically this guardian that will make you respawn for as long as it is alive. After 15 shots from the rocket balloon, the guardian will fall and the team without the guardian will enter last stand mode. At this point, if they die, they lose the round for real. Typically, when not in last stand mode, every player will have their max health reduced to 50%, but in last stand mode, the team with the destroyed guardian will get reset to full max health and they will have their last life to try to win back the game. So all in all, pretty simple game mode, just try to capture the balloon to take down the enemy guardian and then kill them again. There are a few rules that are implemented as well to make the game mode more exciting. Since this is a one round thing, all players can choose all 5 of their Battlerites right from the start, so you will have the full kit going into the match. Enemies you kill will drop a soul which you can pick up that can increase your damage output, so the more souls you have, the more damage you do. As the game progresses, more and more players have died and so more and more souls will have dropped. This makes for more intense fights near the end of the round since there will be players with a lot of souls and you gotta be careful around them. To make it so that it is not just a one-sided steamroll, once the team manages to get a few early kills, energy is preserved through death so that the players who died can come back and have a fighting chance since they retain their energy. If a team is controlling the objective, the enemy team can just put one of their players in there to contest and they will stop the balloon from shooting. There are occasions where you might need to sacrifice by jumping into 3 people to buy time for this reason. So yeah, that was just a lot of facts, basically explaining the whole game mode and what you need to know basically about the mechanics involved in this game mode. If you're still unsure about certain things, you can leave them in the comments below and I'll try my best to respond as soon as I can. Now that it is clear to everyone what the brawl is all about, let us move on to some of my tips for playing the brawl, or rather some tips to give you a better chance at winning the brawl if that's what you like to do. Haha. Anyway, my first tip would be on champion choice. For this brawl, the champion choice actually matters quite a bit, and it is mostly because of the fact that everyone's max health is reduced, but their damage output is either the same or increased by souls. Because of this fact, champions like Freya, Lucy, Varesh, basically champions who can get shields, will have a whole lot of extra health. The amount of protection they get from these shields are balanced around the normal max health pool of each of these champions. For this reason, when their HP is halved but they still generate the same amount of shields, they become a lot tougher to kill when in this brawl mode and hence have a natural advantage in this brawl. From what I can tell, melee champions also have a slight advantage in some ways because of the nature of the brawl where you have to contest the objective physically. Ranged champions like Jumong, who doesn't work so well when enemies are very close to him, will likely be less effective unless you and your team develops a strategy of protecting Jumong for him to dish out damage from a distance. So yeah, I think champion choice and team compositions certainly play a huge part if you want to win more than you lose in this brawl, so it is good to just keep that in mind and make the right choices of what champions you want to play. Next up, another tip I have would be on Battlerites. Because you get to choose all the Battlerites right from the start, and you only have 1 minute to do so, you may be tempted to just go with whatever you're used to for the champion that you've selected. However, because the mechanics and objective is different in this brawl compared to the normal game modes, certain Battlerites that are good in the normal game mode isn't as good here in this brawl. If you really want to, be sure to take some time to review the Battlerites of your champion to see if there are any other builds that might work better in this environment where people are more clumped up and more up close to you. This is certainly truer for ranged characters, whether ranged DPS or supports, because their normal Battlerite builds may or may not have to depend on them being far away from enemies to work well. Things get really heated up and hectic very quickly in this Brawl game mode, so ranged characters need to be a bit more careful usually. Moving on, another tip I have for you is to try to play around the objective. Even if your champion isn't suited for contesting the objective, try to coordinate with teammates so that they can try to create space for you to actually be on the objective and maybe use your range to deter enemies from getting closer that way. It is important to attack and control the objective together as a team, and so if you're alone and both your teammates are dead, it is worth it to fall back a little bit to wait for them instead of carelessly running in to try to contest the objective. Don't forget that dying has its consequences here even though you respawn. Every time you die, you give a soul for your enemies to take back, and you also lose time, so try to avoid dying as much as you can, unless there's no quick way for you to quickly regen your health, and your teammates have just died maybe a few seconds ago or something. While you do give your opponents a soul doing this, you also gain time since you come back to the fight together with your team. And so yeah, that's mostly it for this video. Just wanted to get it out there to you guys as soon as possible, since I think the Brawl is actually pretty good and quite fun. I hope it may be of use to at least some of you watching this video, and so if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more gaming related videos. And so until next time guys, have a great day, keep gaming, stay chill, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.